So today's education is going to be about putting a clarinet together. So first things first, starting from the very beginning, how to open up the case. When opening up your clarinet case, you want to make sure that the brand of the clarinet is facing up. If it is not facing up, or if you do not have a logo, what you can do is you can look at the latches of the case. So normally these latches right here where the thumb goes will be facing down. In order to open it, all you have to do is lift the latches, grab this side of the locks and bring them down. Now we're going to start with putting the clarinet together. When first putting the clarinet together, you want to make sure that you start from the bottom parts of the clarinet to the top. And when putting away the clarinet, you put away from the top parts to the bottom. Now, you first want to start with taking out what is known as the bell. You want to take out the bell, and the next piece that you assemble onto the bell is going to be the lower section. Now, there are two sections right here that look very similar, but you'll know which one the lower section is if you put these two together, and you can tell through here that one of them is actually bigger than the other. The longer one is the lower section, and that is the part that you're going to put first. So when assembling the bell to the lower section, you want to make sure you hold on to the part of the clarinet where there are the least amount of keys. This way, you're not moving the keys around and you're not harming any part of the mechanisms, the keys, or any other of its functions. All right, so you want to start with putting it onto the cork and twisting it in. There's no specific way for the bell to go, so you just want to twist it in, and you want to make sure that this part right here is closed. All right, so the next part to the clarinet that you want to put on is going to be the upper section. So the upper section, you want to make sure that you're holding it to where what is known as the bridge keys are at. So these are the bridge keys right here. So these keys that are stacked up. When putting this part of the clarinet onto the clarinet, you want to make sure that these keys right here align with this part right here of the clarinet. So looking at it from a standing point of view right there. All right, so when putting it together, again, you want to hold on to it nice and tight, and you want to twist it in. All right, and when you twist it in, you want to make sure that these two parts right here are nice and aligned. Go ahead and get a closer look for you. This right here is aligned, so this part and that part, as you can tell. All right. All right, now we're going to talk about putting the top part of the clarinet together. So the next part you're going to put on is called the barrel. So you want to make sure the barrel is just like the bell, doesn't have a certain way to go. You just want to make sure that you twist it in all the way and you close any gap between the two parts of the clarinet. Now this next part we're going to go into is known as the mouthpiece. So you have your mouthpiece right here, and you have what's known as the ligature. So you want to take off the ligature of the mouthpiece, and you want to make sure when you put the mouthpiece onto the clarinet, this part right here where this hole is facing you. So you're going to slide it in, and you want to make sure that the hole right here is aligned with the keys. So if you run your finger right through, you're going to see that it aligned with all of these, this key right here, this key, and the. Now we're going to put the reed onto the clarinet mouthpiece. So when assembling your clarinet, you always want to make sure that you have the reed in your mouth soaking and getting ready to play. I didn't do that because I was speaking, but normally when I put the clarinet together, you always want to have the reed in your mouth ready. So when putting the reed onto the mouthpiece, you're going to see that there is a very straight part of the clarinet or of the reed, and there's going to be kind of a bump here. So this right here is very straight, there's no bumps, it's thin, and there's writing on the reed as well. So you want to make sure that this part of the reed goes onto where the whole of the mouthpiece is. So you want to make sure that you put it right onto the mouthpiece and you bring it up. I put my finger there to make sure that it's even and it's at the right level with the mouthpiece. You don't want the mouthpiece to peekaboo. You don't want it to go up there. And you also don't want the mouthpiece to be all the way down here, because then you're leaving that part opened and you're not going to get a sound. So you want to make sure that you raise it and it's even with the clarinet. As you can tell there, you can't see it here, but it's not covering, or it's not covering. All right? When putting on the ligature, you want to make sure that the screw is always facing right. So once you figure out where the right is for your specific ligature, you can go ahead and just slide the ligature in. You want to bring it maybe about this much in, and you want to tighten it. You don't want to tighten it too much because that is going to create too much pressure to the reed and the mouthpiece. And alright, and once you put the ligature there and your reed is nice and still, you have now assembled a clarinet.